All right, so in this video, I'm going to talk about the used cars or the lemons problem. It's a very simple model. Thanks to George Akerlof. He first introduced this model, this idea, and in 2001, he got a Nobel Prize for his contributions. So in this example, we have, it's a used car example, all right? So we have sellers who are willing to sell their cars. They're used cars, they're not brand new cars. And then there are buyers who are willing to buy the cars. The number of sellers and buyers doesn't really matter. Let's suppose there's large number of sellers, large number of buyers. So the market is perfectly competitive. Everyone is a price taker, all right? So, but just to be specific, we're gonna say there are 100 car sellers and then 100 car buyers, all right? Well, for the car sellers, there are two types of cars. There might be many, obviously, but they all sell the same car, let's suppose, for simplicity. However, some of the cars are good quality, some of the cars are bad quality, all right? So, very simple. Your car, as a seller, is either good or bad, okay? So let's suppose it's 50-50. So 50 cars are good and the 50 cars are bad, so we call them lemons, all right? Well, the second piece of information that we need is the seller's willingness to pay. So this WS corresponds to willingness to sell. I mean, this is the lowest price the sellers are willing to accept. Below that price, they're not gonna accept selling their cars, okay? So this is the lowest price that they're willing to accept. And for the buyers' willingness to pay, the maximum amount of money they're willing to pay for the car. Above this price, they're not gonna buy the car. All right, so the seller's willingness to sell, all the sellers have exactly the same willingness to sell. It just depends on the quality of the car. If you own a lemon, well, you're willing to sell it at a price $1,000. Obviously, if you can sell it to $10,000, well, of course, that's good. But you know what? You don't want to sell it lower than $1,000. For example, if somebody offers you $900, you're going to say, no, thanks. I prefer to keep the car. So $1,000 if you own a lemon, and the willingness to sell of the sellers is $2,000 if the car is good quality, all right? And for the buyers, their willingness to pay depend on the quality of the car. So if the car is a good car, they're willing to pay up to $2,400, up to. Obviously, if it is free, that's the best option, but they don't want to pay more than $2,400. And if the car is lemons, however, they're willing to pay only $1,200, all right? Up to $1,200. All right, so here maybe it's important the utilities of these agents. Utility of the buyer, all right, if he buys the car at a price P, is going to be 1,200 minus P if car is lemons, and it's going to be 2,400 minus P if car is good, all right? So if you are a buyer, all right, so once you buy the car, so that's the idea. So once you buy the car, you're going to drive the car and you're going to realize the quality of the car, or you're going to experience the quality. And so your utility will be up to 2,400 minus P, or it's going to decline to 1,200 minus P, all right, if it is a lemon. So the more the price you pay, obviously, so this is kind of the net benefit, all right? So what's the benefit of buying a lemon? What's the benefit of buying a good car? Well, for the sellers, utility of the sellers is going to be the P, all right? So if they make a trade, oh, by the way, 0 if no car bought. Let's suppose, all right? So if the buyer does not buy a car, his utility is 0, all right? So you can never force a buyer having a negative utility. All right. So for that reason, he will never pay more than $1,200 for a lemon or $2,400 for a good car. For the seller, however, his utility is going to be the price minus 1,000. All right. If car is lemons and P minus 2,000 if car is a good car, 0 if no sell. All right. So if you don't sell your car, your utility as a seller will be 0. Okay. We normalize the utility to be 0. And if you sell the car, well, it depends on the price. Your utility depends on the price and the quality of the car. So the 1,000 kind of becomes your opportunity cost. Think it that way, all right? So you sold your car at a price P, and now you don't have a car, so the opportunity cost is $1,000, and so P minus 1,000 is your net utility, or net benefit of selling your car. So for that reason, the sellers will never sell a car if the price is lower than 1,000 for lemons, and they will never sell a good quality car if the price is lower than 2,000. Okay? Because you cannot force the sellers to have a negative utility. They always have the option of getting 0 utility by not selling. All right? So by not trading, I guarantee 0 utility. All right? So if I own a good car, you have to pay me at least $2,000. If you pay me more than $2,000, well, that's extra benefit for me as a seller. So these are the utilities, and this is the framework. Here, I'm going to consider 2 cases. The first case is the symmetric information case, and which is going to be what we call Pareto efficient case, or the efficient case. Or sometimes we call it first best outcome. All right, and then we're going to talk about what happens if the information is asymmetric. Here, obviously, the asymmetry is going to be about the buyers not knowing the quality of the car. So if you are a seller, you probably know the quality of your car because you already used that car, you experienced the car, but the buyer has never experienced the car and may not know the quality of the car. All right, so I'll come to that. So what if the car quality is symmetric? How so? I don't know. Maybe the quality is observable so easily, or maybe the buyers are all mechanics, so they understand how the car and the system works, and so they have expertise on the cars, and so they understand by just looking at the car without purchasing it, they can understand and spot on the problems in the car. So if this is the case, what's going to happen? Well, think about it, right? So if necessary, pause for a moment and think about it. Well, here, the sellers of lemons and the good cars are going to sell at different prices because these are 2 different goods. The lemons price, let's call it PL, and the good car, let's call it PG. I mean, we don't know because so we assume this is a perfectly competitive market in the sense that there's going to be buyers and sellers, but we don't really have to solve any utility maximization problem. So the price, sort of a reasonable price for the lemons is at least $1,000, right? Because any price lower than this, the sellers will not agree to sell. But it should also be less than $1,200 because any price above that, the buyers are not willing to sell. So therefore, if there's going to be, by the way, that also kind of says, well, maybe different sellers are going to sell their lemons at a different price, so different buyers are going to pay different price for the same car. It could happen, but nevertheless, if the car is lemons, the buyer and the seller should come to an agreement at a price, PL, in this range. All right? It should never be below 1,000 and it should never be above 1,200. And any price in this range is sustainable. I mean, the buyers will accept to trade, the sellers will accept to trade. All right? because the utilities are very simple, right? I mean, we don't have to take any derivatives or anything. Well, for the good car, similarly, the price will never be below $22,000 because otherwise the sellers will reject the trade, and it should never go above $2,400 because the buyers in this case are going to, above $2,400, the buyers are not going to buy this. So any price in this range can be sustained in this market. So therefore, if the information is symmetric, both lemons and good cars will be traded at different prices. And those prices will be in those ranges. Okay? The interesting case is, what if the information is asymmetric? So here, the sellers know the quality, but buyers don't. I mean, you can think of environments where the sellers also don't know the quality of their car, which I think is not realistic. I mean, how come you don't know the quality of your car? But let's suppose you don't. All right. So it's not really asymmetric information. It's like, it is kind of symmetric. You don't know the quality of your car. I don't know the quality of my car. So there's an uncertainty about the quality of the car, and actually it's symmetric. All right, so this is not asymmetric. So the asymmetry means one guy knows more than the other guy, in a sense. So here, who knows more? Well, the sellers usually know more. So the sellers knows the quality of the car, the buyers don't. Because the buyers are not mechanic, they don't have any expertise. All right, so if I'm the a buyer, I just go to the market, I just see the car, and I don't understand if it is a good car or lemons. Okay. All I know is that half of the cars available on the market are good, half of them are lemons. All right, so there's a 50-50 chance. So what's going to happen then? Well, because the buyers and this, because the buyers cannot distinguish the good cars and the bad cars, unfortunately, there's got to be only one price in the market. All right, so P. Well, why is that? Well, suppose there are two prices, P high, P low. Okay, so P high is a high price, P low is a low price. So what happens if this is the case, and if buyers buy high prices, well, the sellers who are asking low price will actually, charge a high price, right? I mean, there are buyers who are willing to pay for this high price, apparently. And so why am I charging low price? I should be charging high price because there are buyers. And I know that the buyers are symmetric. I mean, all buyers believe that the 50% of the car are good, 50% of the car are lemons. And by the way, in reality, things in reality are way too complicated. And I hope when we give you a model, you can try to isolate the reality and focus on the model that we give you. In reality, for example, some of the buyers are expert, some of the buyers are not. So, for example, if I know that this buyer that I am seeing purchasing this car at a price P high, and if I know that this guy is an expert, well, it says that he bought a good car. So, but if I'm not an expert, so that complicates the model, all right? So if some buyers are experts, so they can know the quality, and some buyers are not, this is a complicated environment. So we don't have that complication. All the buyers are symmetric, meaning none of the buyers can figure out the quality of the car before they purchase it. And so therefore, if some buyers are purchasing the high price, all buyers can purchase the high price car. And so none of the sellers will actually sell their cars at a low quality, because as a seller, the higher the price you sell, the higher the utility you're going to make. So therefore, in this market, if there is going to be a price, this price should be unique. All right? So there's going to be one price, P. Well, what should be this price? Well, what is this price? Well, let's put a question mark. Well,